Welcome to the Andrea Giovino Show. Before we get started, thank you to all the subscribers, everyone that subscribed, everyone that leaves comments. I try to get back to all of you and answer all your comments. Let me know what you'd like to see. And I always thank Jesus for putting me on this platform, and I thank the Lord every day for being there for me, helping me get through my hardest times in life, and I'm very grateful for that. Today we have back George Matorano at your request because people love him and they want to hear what he has to say because he knows everything and anything of what that prison system is like. Welcome, George, again.
Thank you for having me, George Matorano here. Love being on your show.
Oh, thank you.
You know, I do a lot of filming and speaking around the country, but when I'm with you, I feel great.
Oh, thank you. That's such a nice compliment. Thank you so much, George. So today, because you came out in 2015 and you did all those years, I wanted to get and ask you, when you come out, when people get out of prison, how do you start? Where do you go? How do you start over? You have a felony on you. What happens?
I did 32 plus years.
Right.
Okay. After 32 plus years, the prison must assist you financially when you come home.
Do they?
You know what I had? What I got? $20.
Oh, God. What
32 plus years. And I could lost count how many times.
Oh, my God.
The guy does 10 years. He does 15, 20. He has nothing.
Nothing.
And I used to go to the warden. I lost count how many times, how many wardens I went to, talked to them. I said, listen, can you get, I know I have to go high, which is $500. This guy did 20 years. I know I'm not going to get 500, but if I can get him 250. Now, your guy gets 250, or even less than that, he has to go to halfway house. And he can't apply for a job unless you have all his credentials in place. Driver's license, if you don't, he has to have a state ID. Okay, now that all costs money because you have to take a cab, okay, you have to buy yourself some food because you cannot apply to go into the community for a job unless you have ID. So the guy does 20 years and they give him $20. They have turned his whole life around. And that's why the recidivism rate, still today, hasn't changed. For the last 40 years, 7 out of 10 come back.
Right, because I think what happens, and I know a lot of people that this has happened to, they are convicted felons. They can't get a job. Nobody wants to hire them. And then there's nothing out there for them to do but to go back to what they know and go back in the streets and go back into crime. That's all they know. That's why there's so many repeated offenders.
And I totally agree, but the government knows more than you and I, Aaron. They know this, but nothing in place. With this current administration, I haven't heard one thing, not one thing about prison change. It's still 85% you're doing your time. With the Trump administration, they were making some moves.
They did lessen the laws. They lessened the laws of nonviolent offenders, like drug offense. You don't get those life sentences anymore.
There's 250,000 federal prisoners. So you make this gesture, okay? You make this move. So 5, 6 get out.
Right.
And there's still 250,000 there. It's what I like to talk about is people like myself, and I know several other people did time, some do serious time, that have businesses. We have businesses. We are creating jobs. We're creating jobs. So I would love to see a position in place with the government that a guy like me comes home, they should pay attention. And not fund me, but fund what I'm doing to create jobs. Because these people that have been incarcerated, these bad neighborhoods, understand a guy like me, understand a woman like you. We just don't make sense.
Well, I think That's it. You got to get deep down and get into the trenches in the area where they're having so much trouble in Philadelphia, like where we are from right now. And,
Well, we're number one.
Number one,
the gun
I know.
violence in the country.
And I turn the news on every day, and kids are getting killed. Kids, it's crazy. Kids are shooting it out. So I think there's not enough importance to go into those neighborhoods, to make change in those neighborhoods, to not just incarcerate them, but to help them to what I've always felt this. Everybody is good at something. I don't care what it is. Everyone in this world is good at something. So have something in place where you can turn it around, because these kids are in the streets shooting each other because it's over drugs. It's always over drugs or money because they don't have anything. So it's always over territory. Do something about that. Nobody's doing anything about it.
Well, here's what happened. In the city of Philadelphia, I try to get involved, not 100%, but certain percent with the political field, who's coming in or who's going out. And the people that are coming in, they're very receptive. You know, my Cannabis for Guns program, I've been preaching it across this country since I'm out of prison. And I know it works because I did it clandestinely in Florida. We took guns off the street. I mean, they all listen. And then when they get in, you can't get hold of them. They put you with an aide.
Yeah.
It's the same old rhetoric. Yeah. But people like us that had our situations with the law, who have done time, and then we come out and we do very positive. I can name friends across many states. They're creating jobs. Okay, so what I like to do in this program is, you need someone that did time. You need someone that understands the situation on these boards, expressing what you can do to make change.
I think also there needs to be like trying to even get into deep-rooted into the community itself and hold some type of speaking engagements with people like us, where we can go in and talk to them and understand and not judge. You know, a lot of people want to just judge. And you got to remember, the person that gets shot's the victim, but the person that's shooting, the shooter, is also some type of victim, because we don't know what that kid, a lot of them are kids, has gone through or what he's been through. Like, so, and then we're throwing him in a system, or her or him in a system that they have no way to get out of. They come out and they're still the same person because there's no change there for them.
It's warehousing. The warehousing, we always heard this fact about warehousing. We heard that for the last 10 or 20 years, but it's much worse. It's much worse today because the community can't pay attention. Mm-hmm. They might have a situation where one black sheep in a family, this and that, but they cannot focus on change because they're trying to pay their bills. They're trying to pay their bills. And right now, like I said, no one, absolutely no, this administration right now is not paying one iota into incarceration.
We need change.
One iota.
The country itself needs change. I mean, we're in a position right now where, you know, we need drastic change. That's why I think the next election coming up is a very, very important election.
You know, it got to the point now, we still have most incarcerated rate in the world.
I know.
We're still over 2 million. The federal system is still no parole, 85%, gang infested. I mean,
nothing's changed.
No, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. So what do? You leave it down to our platform between me and you, trying to get it out, which is when you look at it in the entirety, it is a shame.
It's a shame.
It's a shame. It's a shame.
It's a lot of.
But I created programs, the skills program, which is in every federal institution, the most funded program ever, early release program. I started it. Okay, I started it. Does it make a difference? I pray it does. But if this film tonight, what I want to express is the government, whether it's state or fed, has to work with people like you and I, Adrian, to have understand. Forget about which proper, which right, okay? And that's what kills it right away. Oh, well, that's not proper. Oh, that's not right.
I know.
But we know what to do for change.
You know, when you're in the streets, there's nothing proper. So we need to take that terminology off the table, because these kids don't know proper. They know language. They know street talk. And that's how you have to deal with them. You have to make them understand there's a better way. But the people, like the politicians that are highly educated and that go to school, they're not going to listen to them. They don't understand them. They don't understand what it's like to be a kid in the streets. You only have to know that if you ran in the streets. You know, so there's no importance. I don't believe in just taking them and throwing them and putting them back in the system.
We're still warehousing.
That's just not the answer. You see, it doesn't work.
Well, and like I said, the have-nots outnumber the haves.
It doesn't work. They come out and they go back in.
So when you have a beautiful house, a couple $1 million house in a beautiful neighborhood, and then they come to your house and try to kill you and your whole family. Okay, now who's to blame? Naturally, we don't want to see anyone hurt. We're not on this program that wish anybody hurt and all, but there has to be drastic change. There has to be. And I think there can be people like us that you had your brush with the law. I've been incarcerated, and I have several friends that have been incarcerated. I can name a half a dozen people right now that we have 100,000 people working. We're creating jobs. Well, why not listen to us? Why not bring us to the table?
Get the word out there.
Bring us to the table. Let us put our input. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm asking.
Well, I think that having a platform like this and getting the message out there and getting the word out there, that, you know, it gets to the right ears and then things change. So, you know, change doesn't happen. It's slowly. Unfortunately, it's slowly. But, you know, you have to make headway. And I think, you know, just having the knowledge to be able to discuss it and bring it to the forefront.
Well, this is a great show, a respected show. Naturally, we don't have all the answers. We don't have all the answers. The world is upside down. We understand that. So much violence in the Middle East, etc. We understand that. But if we can get involved with Congress, things like that, people that have been incarcerated, that have the best way to go. Can we get invited, ladies and gentlemen? Can we at least get invited and say what we got to say, which I've been crisscrossing this country since I've been out. And I had a situation in Seattle, a Hempfest Festival. I was invited 3 years in a row, and I really was on 9 stages, ladies and gentlemen, 9 stages. Forget the VIP party. And I'm about my Cannabis for Guns program. Yeah, the only ones that listened were the police in Seattle. They escorted me. The whole police escorted me to the VIP. Because they know. They said, this is a great thing.
Because they do know.
We're trading weed to take the guns.
Take the guns.
I've been going crisscrossing this country. Simple concept. You know, standing ovation, nobody calls me. Well,
because I think it's a lot of times you have to go to your local councilman. Those people have to make the pitch. There's a lot of red tape. That's what I think it is. There's a lot of like channels you have to go through.
You know what? And I agree, and it's sad, but I'm ready to take a bold move, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to listen to me. I'm ready to take a bold move. I'm going to do it on my own. Screw city government. Screw federal government. I'm just going to start growing weed and trading it for guns. When I got a pile of guns, reach the ceiling, okay? Maybe you're going to listen, but I'm really fed up.
Yeah.
I'm really fed up. Well, I'm going to do it on my own.
you have the ability to do that with the business that you're in, the Grow Father. And I mean, you're right in Philadelphia.
Well, I
And
got
that's-
to the point now, Andrea, I'm really fed up.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. What are you going to do? You're going to lock me up when I bring you 1,000 guns and I traded my weed for it?
Right.
You're going to lock me up for it?
Well, the whole thing is about change. We want these kids to change. We want these kids to be able to have a future. You don't want them in a a penitentiary, a jungle,
Yeah,
you
well,
just don't want that.
I do nothing that I haven't tried. I tried this. I
Right.
tried a cannabis for guns exchange, Fort Myers Beach, Fort Myers on Bonita Beach. I did this.
Okay.
I did this with retired law enforcement. And when we didn't have a lot of weed at that time, but we took 9 guns. We took 9 guns in one night. 9 guns.
So
I just want to put the word out.
I mean, I think it's
Kids were coming with bicycles.
Yes, they need
With guns.
direction. They need direction. I mean, you see, you got 14, 15-year-old, 17-year-old. These are kids. These are kids that are shooting. I mean, they need direction. A lot of them don't have a father in the house. The mother is out, whether she's working, there's nobody there parenting them. They need guidance. So what do? They go to gangs. That's the gang members of their family. That's got to change. That all has to change.
Like I said, we're at this show
Change is
here.
hard.
This
It's
show here,
hard.
we're offering a lot. We can offer a lot to the communities out there if you just would stop all the rhetoric. Well, right now, I'm getting really fed up. I'm really getting fed up, and I'm just going to do it on my own.
Well-
and if you want to, if they bring you 1,000 guns and drop it on City Hall step, if you want to lock me up for trading weed for it, guess what? Lock me up because you and I on this show, we have no fear.
No, and not only that, if one of those guns can save somebody's life, that's what it's about, saving lives. It's about saving a life. So you have to do what you think.
I don't know. You know, I'm adamant. You're adamant. You know, we want just listen to us. We have great ideas because you did time. Okay, that means you don't have a good idea. You're
Well,
not
I mean,
creative.
because like a lot of they think.
Well,
like,
you got these senators and these congressmen. I got nothing against them, but guess what? Guess what? I wrote 31 works in the industry. That's books, movie scripts, stage plays. Okay, I sat down and I wrote over 2 million words freehand. So,
right.
okay,
That says something.
I haven't heard anybody do that in Congress
No, well, I mean, it's
or Senate. No. What I'm trying to say is it's not all about me, this and that, but at least give us a chance to listen to us.
right.
Listen to us. We know. We've been in the trenches. I've been in the worst cell blocks in America with the worst inmates you can imagine.
Yeah, and change has to happen. But with that, we'll close out. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Just, I hope you continue this discussions and platform. It's a great show. It's not about us. It's about
No.
what we can do to
It's
help
about what to do.
society.
It's actually about helping change.
So it's just what's the best? We do the best we can, ladies and gentlemen, with the little we have.
That's right. Thank you all. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. And my friend George Matorano, thank you for coming on again. Please subscribe. Leave us a comment. And I always thank Jesus. Good night.
That was a deep